It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the 3 films of February 24th, 2006. And we're ending February off kind of how we started the month off, with movies that either were kind of dumped off or movies that the studios really believed in. We've got a wide assortment here, so it's kind of a pick your poison weekend if you're looking for something to see here. Let's start with the biggest new release of the weekend, Tyler Perry's second film following Diary of a Mad Black Woman. This is Madea's Family Reunion.
There's a lot you can learn from Madea.
You're her foster mother, or you're a prison mother.
I'll take the prison for 200, Alex.
About self-pride.
That ain't what people call you, it's what you answer to.
They used to call her wine low.
Self-help.
I'm not smart like the other
The
kids.
best revenge is to prove them wrong.
Best revenge you can have is to kick their butt.
And most of all, self-defense.
Shut up, old lady.
We're waiting for you at 3 o'clock.
Tyler Perry's Madea's Family Reunion. Rated PG-13 in theaters everywhere February 24th.
So yeah, definitely a much different film than Diary of a Mad Black Woman was. But in the story, you have Madea at the centerpiece of the storyline, preparing for an upcoming family reunion while dealing with the dramas before and during it. You have a cast that also includes Blair Underwood, Lynn Whitfield, Boris Kodjoe, Henry Simmons. You see Keke Palmer in one of her early film roles, Cicely Tyson, Maya Angelou's also in here as well. A lot of recognizable names in here. And as I said last time with Diary of a Mad Black Woman, I've very rarely seen these movies, so I really don't have a clear indication of how these movies are overall. I only saw the later Tyler Perry movies. Like, I think it started with, around the time Precious came out, that I started watching his movies more. But obviously, they don't really need my opinion on it, because these movies do very, very well. This film really kind of came out of nowhere and did, kind of like with Diary of a Mad Black Woman. There is an audience for these movies. And, you know, they're coming out to see these movies, and this was an even bigger success than Diary of a Mad Black Woman was. So, I mean, really, there's not much more I can really add to it, because, honestly, I've never really seen these movies. I can't really say if they're any good or not, these early films at least. But like I said, like, starting with Precious and then for Colored Girls, that's when I kind of started paying attention to some of the ones that came after that. Most of them are not that great in general here. I don't think there's ever, as far as I know, I don't think there's been one that I've really, really liked overall. I think maybe the closest one that I have seen and kind of admire for how ridiculous it was Why Did I Get Married To? And it's funny because my first time seeing it was seeing it on a television in Red Robin. I actually have a video on this channel where I actually was in the Red Robin, and these two old white guys were sitting in front of the television. They were so invested with what was going on in that movie. Meanwhile, this is the time that the NCAA March Madness was going on, and I'll actually show you the video right here. Take a look at this. Yeah, it was actually 3 of them. I thought it was 2 at first, but then I remember, oh yeah, you turn the camera around, there's another guy. They're all paying attention to that movie over there. Like, it's just, I just thought that was so funny to me. I don't know why they were so invested in that instead of March Madness, but that's the only thing I could really take away from these movies in general here. I mean, these movies don't seem like they're that bad overall, especially these early movies, but I've just never really had the keen interest on checking these early movies out in general here. They don't really fit me in particular, so. But they have their audience, so what am I going to add to it that probably hasn't already been said already about them? I mean, they seem like fine movies overall. Nothing too spectacular, nothing too bad about them, but just kind of in the middle. And they know the audience they're trying to sell to, so not much more I could say about this film already. But let's get to some films I have seen. Unfortunately, especially with this first movie we have here, let's talk about Doogal.
Legend tells of 3 magic stones, and an evil so powerful that the only one who can stop it is the world's most fearless warrior.
The fearless warrior couldn't make it today, so I came instead.
This February, one dog must lead an unlikely fellowship on the adventure of a lifetime.
It's all clear.
Come on.
3 stones to rule the world. My precious.
Kidding.
One dog to find them. Doogal.
Get the dynamite!
I didn't know they were shooting Ice Age 2 up in here.
From the creator of The Fairly Odd Parents. If he can't save us,
I can fly!
No, I can't.
then someone else will have to.
I'm fine. I broke the fall with my face.
Featuring Chevy Chase, Judi Dench, Jimmy Fallon, Whoopi Goldberg, William H. Macy, Ian McKellen, Kevin Smith, and Jon Stewart. Doogal.
So first off, I probably should mention something that I probably should have brought into should have talked about early on. Some of you might be wondering, why haven't I talked about Hoodwink? Because Hoodwink was actually the first Weinstein animated film release, and that actually came out in January of 2006. I completely forgot that that even came out. I mean, here's the thing. I went to Box Office Mojo's website. That's where I get my information for when these movies come out in general. And when I went to the 2006 weekend list, I kid you not, I completely forgot that Hoodwink got a limited release, because when I looked at that particular weekend, January 13th, I'll actually show you right here. Yeah, Box Office Mojo somehow really does this a lot, but then again, yeah, that thing's been out for 5 weeks in limited release, and it just got a wide release on that particular weekend. So that's why it's not on this particular weekend for January 13th, and I didn't cover it in that episode. I will cover this movie in the 2006 leftover episodes, but that's why that was not included in the list. Now, the other question you might be asking yourself is, what the fuck did I just watch? Because, yeah, this is a pretty bad movie. So, this is based off of a television show of the same name, where you have a group of unlikely heroes who go on a quest to stop a reawakened villain who intends on freezing the world from retrieving a set of powerful diamonds. Now, this is a film that was originally released in France back in 2005, and then was released to the U.S. a year later, and, of course, the Weinstein Company was involved in the U.S. dubbing of this, and according to William H. Macy, Harvey Weinstein saw the Magic Roundabout, which is what this movie was called in France, and decided to produce an American localized version of the film. And in Ascension, most of the cast was recasted with people like Chevy Chase, Jimmy Fallon, Whoopi Goldberg, Bill Hader, William H. Macy, Jon Stewart. You had a child actor playing the titular character in the U.S. in the dub version, Daniel Tay, who does not sound like that in the trailer. That sounds like Kevin Smith, even though that's not him. The creator of the Fairly Odd Parents byline is kind of true. The U.S. version was was handled by Butch Hartman of the Fairly Odd Parents fame, but even then, it really doesn't seem like it's him in general here. And even Hartman himself has said during the Weinstein scandal that most of his input was rewritten and reproduced by Weinstein, and the final film, he had only 3% to do with the film in general. So yeah, take that for what you will. But yeah, you can just look at the trailer for this movie and just see how abysmal this movie is. Like, it's so poorly executed. It's not animated well whatsoever. Like, even if you probably were a fan of the TV show, even the people who liked the TV show probably looked at this and went, this is terrible. Like, this is a terrible film altogether here. And it's interesting because Hoodwinked was a good movie. It actually was a really good movie. One that kind of came out of nowhere. It also had kind of chunky animation too, but the writing and the comedy were so well done, and the voice work was so well done that you kind of overlooked the choppy animation. But here, there's just no way to not see the choppy animation in this. I mean, it's poorly put together with a really bad storyline, just a mess of a film on so many levels. It came, it crashed, it burned. What more can you say about this one? It's Doogal. It's not a very good movie. So let's go ahead and move on to the last film, easily the best film of the weekend, and that is Running Scared.
Get down!
From its supercharged action-packed opening,
He's down on the ground.
Running Scared winds you up and doesn't let go.
The guy was a cop.
Paul Walker's best performance.
This whole thing is about to blow up. Come on!
I just heard shooting across the hall.
A mind-bending extreme movie experience. Running Scared, rated R. Starts Friday, February 24th.
Paul Walker had a really good February, as you can see here. Running Scared follows the story of a low-ranking mafioso who's ordered to get rid of a gun used to kill corrupt cops, only to find himself in a race against time when the murder weapon falls into the wrong hands. The wrong hands being a kid and his mother, played by Cameron Bright and Vera Farmiga. Chaz Palminteri's also in the film as well. Directed by the guy who did The Cooler, and this is a kind of a little fun, underrated little gem here. It's a movie that wasn't a big hit financially. It was only a mixed-reviewed film. Got mostly mixed reception from critics, but it did go on to have somewhat of a cult following over the years, and it's kind of hard not to see why. Paul Walker really is very good in the film. It's a very stylized-looking film. Like, you could tell a lot of inspiration for, like, Crank and Shoot 'Em Up came from a movie like this. It's an engaging mystery. It's an engaging thriller aspect in general here. The action sequences are very well done. The casting overall is very good. Paul Walker giving another really good performance after last week in 8 Below. I mean, this is what shows what he could have been as a leading actor in general here before he eventually went back to the Fast and Furious movies. I mean, there's a lot to admire about the film. It's a very good mystery. It's a very good story to tell. There's a lot there to really appreciate about it. It's definitely a very underrated film, and one I do think deserves a lot more attention. It's one I highly recommend checking out. Running Scared, really a good film. Definitely one of the more underrated films released this year. And so, with all that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. The next time we meet, we'll take a look at 4 more movies, including Bruce Willis and Mos Def starring in Richard Donner's 16 Blocks, Mila Jovovich starring in Kurt Wimmer's follow-up to Equilibrium, that is Ultraviolet. We also have Aquamarine, which features JoJo and Sarah Paxton and Emma Roberts. I think that's who else. There's somebody else in there too. I think I can't remember who, but that's a kids. It's basically a kids movie with kind of like a kids version of Splash, spliced in with a little bit of a Little Mermaid in live action form. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But also we have a Michel Gondry's Dave Chappelle's Block Party. So we'll take a look at those 4 movies on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button if you want to know when we get new videos up here, because we post new videos here every day. So with all that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.